there's a moment. Maybe it's quiet. Maybe it's in the middle of chaos. But it hits that you're not really you. Not yet. And everything you thought was true, your wants, your anger, your shame, your pride, wasn't yours to begin with. They were borrowed, handed to you by people who never even knew who they were. You wake up one day and realize you've been operating like a puppet, pulled by invisible threads you never even questioned. And Carl Jung had a name for those strings, the unconscious. This isn't about astrology or philosophy. This is you, your life, your decisions, your wounds, your constant overthinking, your impulsiveness, your fear of being seen. You don't need motivation. You need a mirror. And Jung handed you one. He said the first step toward change is awareness. The moment you see your patterns, you're no longer trapped by them. The moment you recognize that the pain you carry isn't just random, it's you trying to talk to yourself. That's the shift. Here's the truth. Most people think they're choosing. They're not. They're reacting to childhood abandonment, to that teacher who humiliated them, to that parent who was too busy to look up from their phone, to that breakup that made them stop trusting love. You think you don't trust people? No. You're just reliving a betrayal you never healed from. And that betrayal made you build walls. But those walls didn't protect you. They imprisoned you. You thought becoming low maintenance would make you lovable. But all it did was teach people how to ignore you. You thought staying silent was strength. But silence became a cage. And now, you're exhausted from being someone you're not. This is where Carl Jung grabs you by the collar and says, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. What does that mean? It means everything you're doing right now. The way you speak, the people you attract, your relationship patterns, even your self-sabotage. It's all being driven by parts of you that you've buried. Not deleted, just buried. And they are loud. You fear abandonment, so you become clingy. You fear being seen, so you chase people who ignore you. You fear being out of control, so you control everything. But here's the punchline. You're not broken. You're just unconscious. And the moment you realize this, your life splits open. You're no longer a slave to your trauma. You become the author of your mind. But this journey, it's not pretty, because the truth doesn't flatter you. It burns. You'll have to face the parts of yourself you're ashamed of. The jealousy, the neediness, the resentment, the bitterness, the manipulation, the fake smiles, the passive aggression. Jung called this the shadow. And the shadow is not evil. It's you. The parts of you that had to be hidden to be accepted. Your family didn't like loud children. You became quiet. Your school only rewarded winners? You learned to fake strength. Your ex hated your emotions? You learned to numb them. But none of it went away. It just sank deeper. And now, it runs you. But once you see it, once you speak its name, it loses power. And you gain it. Jung didn't tell you to fix yourself. He told you to know yourself. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to remember who you were before the world told you who to be. Because this one realization, that you're operating from unconscious programming, it changes everything. It explains why your relationships repeat, why success doesn't fulfill you, why you chase people who don't want you, why your peace feels fake, why your confidence collapses, why you feel empty after every win. It's not bad luck. It's not your fault. It's the unconscious driving the show. But you're awake now. You see it. And that's where the transformation begins. Because once you see your shadow, you stop blaming others. You stop chasing validation. You stop living on autopilot. You stop settling for pain that feels familiar. This isn't just psychology. It's your freedom. So you've woken up. You've seen the unconscious for what it is, a silent architect of your suffering. But now comes the next layer, something even more deceptive, something that didn't just control you. It became you. Carl Jung called it the persona. And if you're honest, you've been wearing yours for so long, you forgot you ever put it on. The persona is the mask you crafted, not out of vanity, but out of survival. It was never meant to be fake. It was meant to protect. You built it the first time someone told you, "Don't cry, that's weak. Don't be weird, people won't like you. Don't speak up, that's disrespectful." So you learned to smile when you were crumbling, to act confident when you were anxious, to say, "It's okay," when it was never okay. And slowly, you forgot how to be anything else. The mask became the face, and the face became a performance. Now, even you don't know what's real anymore. Let me ask you, when was the last time you said exactly what you felt without editing yourself? When was the last time you rested without guilt? When was the last time you looked in the mirror and felt real? Jung said, "The persona is a complicated system of behavior that is partially dictated by society and partially by the individual." Translation? It's the you that the world applauds, the polite you, the agreeable you, the useful you, the achiever, the tough guy, the good girl, the listener, the helper, the one who always replies, always shows up, always forgives, always sacrifices. But the persona doesn't come for free. Every mask has a cost. And yours? It's you. You don't cry because your persona must be strong. You don't ask for help because your persona must be independent. You don't say no because your persona must be liked. You don't express anger because your persona must be easygoing. But here's the trap. The more you live as your persona, the more invisible your real self becomes. And over time, that invisibility turns into suffering. Suddenly, you feel numb, disconnected, lonely, even when surrounded by people. Because it's not you they love. It's the mask. They love the smile, not the struggle. They love the performance, not the pain. And the worst part? You trained them to. You showed them only the parts of you that felt acceptable. And now, they don't even know how much you're hiding. But you do. And Jung warned us, the greatest burden a child must bear is the unlived life of the parent. But what if you are now the parent to your own unlived life? What if you've become the adult that suppresses your own truth, your own instincts, your own voice? You keep waiting for someone to give you permission, to finally ask, are you okay? Do you want something different? Is this even who you want to be? But no one's coming, because they think you're fine. They think you're thriving, because your persona is doing its job perfectly. Here's the tragedy. You might live your entire life chasing approval, only to realize that the applause was never for the real you. And that realization, that quiet, cold realization, it cracks something open. Because suddenly, the things you thought you wanted, the status, the praise, the likes, the relationship, the job, the hustle, none of it feels fulfilling. Because you didn't want those things. Your persona did. And now, you're done. You're tired of performing, tired of being what everyone else expects, tired of saying yes when every cell in your body screams no. And that's the turning point. Because what comes next isn't rebellion. It's integration. You don't need to destroy the persona. You need to reclaim the self behind it. You start by listening, not to your thoughts, but to the tension, that heaviness in your chest when you agree to something you don't want to do, that pit in your stomach when you force a smile, that burning in your throat when you swallow the truth. Those are signals that your real self is trying to surface, and slowly, painfully, you learn to give it space. You say no. You disappoint people. You rest. You cry. You ask for help. You walk away from things that look perfect. You tell the truth, even when it shakes. And in those small moments, you start peeling away the layers. You stop being the strong one, and you start being the real one. People will resist. Some will fall away. But the ones who stay, they'll finally meet you. The raw you, the scarred you, the whole you. This is not self-sabotage. This is self-return. Carl Jung never said healing was easy. He said it was necessary, because living a lie, no matter how polished, kills you slowly. But living your truth, even if it's messy, misunderstood, and lonely at first. It revives you. And the moment you feel it, the weight lifted, the silence broken, the self remembered, you realize this one shift didn't just change your life, it gave it back to you. Now listen carefully. You're at a threshold, because most people never make it here. Most people sense the discomfort, feel the cracks in their identity, notice the emptiness under the mask, but they turn away. Why? Because staying asleep is easier. Being unconscious is seductive. No decisions, no confrontations, no guilt, no accountability. Just autopilot. But Jung warned us, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. And that's exactly what most people do. They blame their relationships, their job, their childhood, their trauma, their ex, the world. They think life is unfair, when in truth, it's the shadow that's been making every decision behind the curtain. That quiet resentment you feel when someone asks you for help, that wasn't about them. It was about your fear of saying no. That jealousy when someone succeeds, it wasn't about their win. It was about your unlived potential. That frustration in relationships, it wasn't just their fault. It was about your buried fear of being seen. The shadow holds every part of you you've disowned. The anger, the fear, the selfishness, the desire, the power. But here's the painful truth. Everything you want in life is currently trapped in the part of you you're most afraid to look at. Your confidence? It's hidden inside the part of you that speaks up and risks rejection. Your freedom? It's behind the boundary you were too scared to set. Your peace? It's buried under all the resentment you've never expressed. Your purpose? It's on the other side of the role you've been pretending to play. Carl Jung didn't teach people to be positive. He taught people to be whole. Because healing is not about light. It's about contrast. You don't find your path by pretending to be enlightened. You find it by descending, willingly, into the very depths you once avoided. It's not glamorous. It's not trending. It won't get applause, but it will free you. Let's be honest. You're exhausted, not because you've done too much, but because you've betrayed yourself too many times. Every yes when you meant no. Every silence when you had something to say. Every smile when you wanted to scream. Every compromise that chipped away your soul. It adds up. And one day, you wake up, not just tired, but hollow. And if that's you right now, that hollowness is sacred. That ache in your chest is a compass. It's not depression. It's your soul begging you to come home. So what now? You choose, not once, but every day. You choose to be here, to stop running, to stop performing, to stop molding yourself into who they expect. You choose to stand still. In the wreckage, in the silence, in the discomfort. And ask yourself the question that changes everything. If I wasn't afraid, what would I do right now? That one question, that's the key. It unlocks the real you, the one buried beneath the trauma, the people-pleasing, the perfectionism. And what you'll find might scare you, because the real you, she's bolder, he's louder. They're unpredictable, unapologetic, messy, alive, and most of all, they don't need permission anymore. So yes, this one realization will change your life, but only if you're brave enough to act on it. You can't unsee it now. You know the mask. You know the shadow. You've seen the unconscious patterns. You've felt the cracks in your persona. Now comes the terrifying, beautiful part. You let go of who you thought you had to become who you were always meant to be. It's not easy. You'll lose people. You'll lose control. You'll lose the version of you that once felt safe. But what you'll gain? Clarity, peace, wholeness, real connection, real freedom, and finally, real self-love. The kind that doesn't come from mantras, but from facing your darkest truths with compassion. So here's your choice. Go back. Put the mask back on. Numb the truth again. Scroll. Perform. Obey. Survive. Or you walk away from the performance. You walk toward the fire. And you finally meet yourself. Carl Jung said, "Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakens." This is your awakening. Don't turn back now. If this video hit a part of you you've been avoiding, if you felt seen, exposed, or cracked open in any way, then you're not alone. This is your path back to yourself. Comment below. This is the moment I return to me. Let the world know you're done performing. And if you're ready for more real, raw, mind-breaking truths like this, like, subscribe, and share this with someone who's lost themselves, too. Your healing just started. Let's walk it together.